Right, Mrs. Green Apple is a contender for the best band name of all time. Mrs. Green Apple? I love it. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now, if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Patreon and various other social media platforms, and I'll put the handles down below and over there. Over there. That was so simple. I phoned that one in. Meh. Now, if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, the special rules on my Discord server, and you have access to all sorts of bonus features like my wee rants, my Vocal Anatomy 101 series, and all sorts of other jazz. So consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Just like Laura Gronfeld did, she has become a patron and she is fast tracking a reaction. She has chosen Mrs. Green Apple. Excellent band name. Now, from the description that was sent with the request, I know that they're a Japanese band and they're going to be doing a song called Bokuno Koto, which means about me. And that's all I know. So let's go, have a listen, see what we think. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Live Intimate. That's a lovely chord progression. Ooh. Oh, his voice is so delicate, so pretty. Very aspirate, which means there's a bit more air coming through the folds than normal. You can hear a little bit of a dropped larynx there to get a little bit more depth out of his voice. But then another thing he's doing is he's keeping his lips pressed to that microphone. So he needs to be really subtle with what he's doing, because that will quite easily overfeed a mic. So taking that aspirate tone, a little bit of a drop larynx, but quite a high note. You get this really nice tone. It's very soft. Such a lovely way to start. I love what he's doing with the tempo here. So he's kind of going with his own rhythm. He's coming in with the guitar when he feels like it, and what it's doing is it's giving this feeling of suspense. You're hanging, waiting for that song to keep going. You're like, it's so good. It just makes you absolutely 100% in the palm of his hand from the get-go. Really nice. So you can hear as well here now, he's starting to kind of really press into the sound. It's getting a little bit more nasal, which is basically your velum coming in and allowing some of that tone to come through your nasal passage. It makes it a little bit more muffled, but it can also press the sound into this more condensed form, and that's called nasal twang. You can also employ oral twang, which you might be using a little bit of as well, which is where the epiglottis creates a chamber above your vocal folds to condense that airflow, make the vocal folds a bit thicker. But it's just showing how adaptable his voice is. So when all the other instruments come in, he realizes he needs to give a little bit more so that he's cutting through. and he's doing it really, really well. Good. How dare you? You just... Right. I need warnings for this sort of stuff. I was not expecting that. Okay. That's fine. We can work with this. So he has got a completely wild register. It goes so high. You could hear he was employing a few different things on his higher register. One would have been his head voice, which is where you have thin folds but still connected to your chest register, so you get a little bit more power out of that sound. There was tiny wee pops of falsetto where the vocal folds stiffen up and it's very, very airy. But he also had this really, really strong mix right up the top end there as well. That's not an easy thing to do. It was very, very twangy, so there's lots of that epiglottis twang that I was talking about, oral twang coming through, but wow, fantastic. That really, really high note at the top end there was like, whoa, lovely. That fry there as well. You can hear that he's starting to use his voice a little bit more to add some dynamic. So he's pushing that sound up into that thicker fold position, and then he's dropping back down into that aspirate tone from the first verse. And he's now starting to mix the two together. So you get this real sense of movement off of his voice. It's very, very impressive. It's also super chill. Like the crowd are just standing there. The band are just standing there. Everyone's just there to have a nice time. It's very chill. I like it. I like the way that he's pressing into some of these higher places by holding on to like M's, N's, L's. Anything that has a little bit of back pressure to it, he's really pushing that forward in order to pop into that high voice. Really, really nice. One thing I have noticed, there's some form of tracked vocals in here because you could see him singing. All the other guys have mics, but no one was singing, but there is a harmony there. So there's a track somewhere, it's been added in post, or it's actually in the live mix. I have no idea, but there's more than one vocal that I can hear at the moment. That to me sounds like proper high belt that's coming through. So that's where your cricoid cartilage, which is at the bottom of your larynx, rocks and allows more space in behind the vocal folds. You get a lot more back pressure through your vocal folds and you get a bigger vibratory pattern. It's like a stronger sound. A lot of people will misconstrue anything that's kind of loud as belt, but it's got a really specific fingerprint and it's less common than you might think it is. That to me was definitely belt. Big, big, big sound and very like abrupt. It just pops at you. Nice, good.
Bokuno 知っている奇跡は死んでいる努力も孤独も報われないことがあるだけどねそれでもね今日まで歩いてきた日々を人は呼ぶそれがね奇跡だと
So this is a really interesting and very effective vocal thing he's doing here. He's breaking his phrases up into really abrupt little staccatoed parts, and it kind of makes you feel like he is talking through a very emotional time. There's a vulnerability that's coming out through that kind of sound, and it just guides you into that feeling of somebody kind of revealing a little bit more about themselves. Oh, the song's called About Me. Ahaha. Okay, right. Hopefully he's talking about himself. Any Japanese speakers, let me know down below, because that was a guess. But it's very, very personal, and it's like bearing your heart. And just by adding that little bit of staccato, abrupt phrasing in that little, tiny, little delicate voice that he's got, game changer. Okay, just quickly, that is a really, really good mic technique that he's got there. So he had that really twangy sound going on there, but he didn't tail off within his voice. What he did was he just pulled away from the mic, so you got that natural fade out. It's a really, really good trick if you have a microphone in front of you and you've got a really strong voice, but you want to give it a little bit of dynamic kind of shift. Just pull the mic away from you and you get that lovely kind of dissipation of your own tone without having to change anything here. Very, 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 very good.
僕と君とでは何か違うそれぞれ見てきた景色がある僕は僕として今を生きてゆくとても愛しいことだありがとうございます
Ah! Wow. What a way to end. Just so gentle. Kind of ended the way that it started, which is one of my favourite things. If you've been here before, you'll know that if it starts soft and then ends soft with this huge swell in the middle, I'm a happy boy. What a voice. What an absolute voice. That's mental. Live and intimate is correct. That was both of those things. So that was Mrs. Green Apple. I didn't know what to expect, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised. What a set of pipes that guy's got. Wow. And was that a female drummer? Because if it was, then extra points. I don't make the rules, but extra points. We need more female drummers in the world. So hope you liked that reaction. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And how are we going to buy this one? I don't really know because I didn't know the lyrics to that song. But does that matter? Because I changed them to stuff about subscribing anyway. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you like this video, and I'm sad to see you go, but for now, I'll just say goodbye. That was very gentle, wasn't it? Goodbye.